Welcome to Social Truth 5.1. I'm Andy Sikora.
And I'm Matt Kitchen. Social Truth is the internet television show for the popular website, socialtruth.com. We take a lot of news stories, throw them online, post, comment on them, and bring our favorites to you in a show like this where we talk about what they mean to truth in our society.
That's true.
So we're going to go ahead and jump into the first story. Stay tuned for the comments in episode 5.2. But right now, it's story time, boys and girls. All right, first story, U.S. and Iran on collision course. So this is not, this is probably one of the scarier stories we've had this week and probably one of the more serious ones, but we'll try to make it good for you. So Iran is refusing to stop the pursuit of uranium enrichment. So they are, in fact, just they just enriched their first uranium, and nobody in the world likes this right now.
All for nuclear power,
right?
Not for weapons at all.
Not for weapons at all. Oh, just for nuclear. Just it's peaceful. They
just want to light some lamps.
That's right.
That's it.
So I didn't know this so much though. That Washington regards Iran obviously as anti-American terrorist, which has godfathered the Hamas. In Palestine, also Islamic Jihad, which is responsible for the terrorism in America. And its leaders are suspected of training and arming Shiite militias inside Iraq and sheltering senior al-Qaeda leaders who fled from Afghanistan. So pretty much everything that we're against in America right now, they're pro in Iran. So I didn't know that as much. At first I thought we were just trying to
it's the opposite of America.
Yeah, so we are doing this basically because we seriously fear Iran and terrorism that they bring to us. So
I think I heard that I heard someone say on like a Meet the Press type show that even before we attacked Iraq, we still had more fear about Iran than we had about Iraq.
Yeah,
we just started.
I heard that as well. Yeah. But it didn't click until I read that. So now the Iranian president, who's not really into the Americans so much, said so everyone's been getting mad about them doing this nuclear cycle. And our answer to those who are angry about Iran obtaining the full nuclear cycle is one phrase. He declared, "We say, be angry and die of this anger." Well said, Iranian president. Well said.
Yes.
Thank you for scaring the crap out of me. So as a result, U.S. is stepping up its military activity towards Iran. Now, U.S. and Britain have already been doing these like preemptive strikes, practice strikes since like 2004 against places in the Middle East. So they, this stuff's been going on for a while, but now they're starting to deploy troops to locate targets on the ground for possibility of bombing to delay this nuclear production. They don't want to start a war necessarily.
Allegedly.
Which is the only thing that's giving me hope right now. Is that we don't necessarily want to start a war. We just want to delay the making of these.
Tell me why they don't want to start a war. What's that quote you read to me a minute ago? This is amazing.
So you can start because this is some like general in their army, the Iranian army, right?
Yeah.
You can start a war, but it won't be you who finishes it. He says the Americans know better than anyone that their troops in the region and in Iraq are vulnerable.
So Iran's not just starting like this nuclear stuff. They're not just maybe going to build a bomb. They don't just kind of hate America, and they don't just say we should die of our anger.
They're saying, "Come get some."
Yeah, and by the way, we know how to take you down.
Are you kidding me? Like Iran, who's like a terrorist city, who the troop and their military probably isn't the most impressive one in the world, but they have some cash because they deal in oil.
Right.
So. That's why our oil prices are up right now. It's because of Iran, and because Iran wants to go into war with us. They don't care.
So do you think we're going to war with Iran?
Dude, I hope not.
But we're going to.
Some kind of military activity is going to happen on Iran.
Yeah.
The only question is, I don't think we're going to start a war against them, but I think we're probably within the year going to bomb Iran at some point to stop this nuclear activity. At that point, though, I don't know what's going to snowball from that. If Iran's going to take it to U.S. soil for some terrorist activity,
or even worse than that, we have Iran and Iraq right next door to each other. We're fighting two wars on two fronts in two countries right next to each other.
We're going to have to pull out of Iraq.
It's going to be a mess.
We're going to have to pull out of Iraq.
I know nothing about war. But I do know
we're not the kind of
It's not a good thing, especially when they're next door neighbors.
So I'm kind of flabbergasted by this story. So I don't really know what the truth is in all this. I mean, obviously, war is bad and war is evil, and a lot of bad stuff comes from war. And anytime we can avoid war, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
But Iran is a really bad country and it's difficult for this. So I'm just sick of all this war, this death, and these countries not getting along, and just. Man, like I feel like a hippie right now, but come on, peace is just
so much better.
I want peace so much more than fighting to go on.
I agree with that.
And I don't want to get drafted.
That is true.
But I think we'll just go ahead and go on that story.
All right, here's a big story. Maybe the biggest story of the year.
It's a good transition from Iran.
Yes. Brangelina plan birth in
Namibia.
Namibia. It's not hard to say. Namibia. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt plan to have their baby in the South African nation of Namibia and may even give the child a local name. Well, how about that?
Gosh, I hope so.
Now the reason I posted on this, I actually posted something called Celebs Are Baby Crazy.
Yes.
And I talked mostly about Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes and Brad and Angelina, right?
Yes.
But the question is why do we care so much about people and celebrities who have had babies?
I ask myself that question every time I turn on the TV and every time I see a newsstand.
Right. In the last 6 months, this is who have had babies. Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. Tom and Katie, they just had their baby. They named it Surrey. Isn't that nice?
Surrey.
A good Scientologist name.
Weird name.
I mean, Hebrew
yes.
name.
It was given to him by aliens.
By aliens. Brad and Angelina, Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck, which is interesting because who used to date?
Oh, yeah.
Ben and J-Lo,
yeah.
who got married to Mark Anthony. I know all this stuff, right? Gwyneth Paltrow,
So do I. This is so
Gwyneth
sad.
Paltrow and Chris Martin, they just had a baby and named him Moses. Good Hebrew name also.
Yes.
Maybe Moses and Surrey can get together.
I hope so.
And then the Trumpster had a baby with Melina.
That's so gross.
Picture that.
So gross.
So there's all this gross, weird, crazy stuff happening.
I think an interesting observation is, though, like how right now I'm so disgusted by the story and disgusted that we care about it, and I'm just so like
Right.
that. Whenever I go to the newsstands or I'm checking out the grocery store and I see those news racks there, I look at them and I see what news is actually
isn't
going
that nice?
on.
Jennifer Garner had a baby.
I know, and I'm just like, I wonder what celebrities are hooking up now and stuff like that.
Why do you think we care? Like, what do you think it is about people in America?
I think you should go to that comment about celebarchy.
This
I
is
think that's where
this
it's
is
going.
from the Greg. It's a comment, and I think this is the truth that I found.
Okay.
Celebrities are the modern day royalty of America. As much as we cringe at the thought, we pay attention because we want to know the next heir to the throne of celebarchy. And I think that's it. Like I
think that is it.
we think their lives are so much more interesting than ours.
Right.
The lines have been blurred between what is real and what is fake and what is movies, what is news, and now we just live our lives based. Even people who say they don't care, we still kind of care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you and I, we still
Kind of care. Yeah.
And so we have created a hierarchy of human class here, pretty much.
Like the fact that this is a big story, that Brangelina are going to have a kid in Africa, most people would be like, yeah, what a weird thing to say.
Like if I said I was going to go have a kid in Africa.
It's not making the news.
No. So,
We have a problem, America.
Yes.
We're going to war with Iran, and we love famous people too much.
Too much.
Next story.
Next story.
All right. So, this is a good story. The Chinese leader, President Hu, came over to America, and it says Chinese leader courts capitalists at start of U.S. tour. Basically, this story says that the Chinese president comes to America to meet with President Bush, but in the beginning of his journey across America, he met with Bill Gates, president of Microsoft.
The real president of the United States.
Yes, the real president. The chairman of Starbucks. Howard Schultz. And he also met with the leaders over at Boeing. And so he did a lot
because he ordered like 80 Boeing jets,
right,
didn't he?
Yeah. So he did a lot of
to help give American comedy some kind of hope right now.
Boost. Now, then he goes over to meet with President Bush, and the point, this is a quote from the story, the summit with Mr. Bush, expected to cover trade and moves to avert nuclear advances in North Korea and Iran, is also likely to touch on intellectual property. U.S. industry groups estimate that 90% of DVDs, music, CDs, and software sold in China are pirated. So there's some pretty interesting stuff that needs to get taken care of in this time over here.
Yeah, that's actually one of the main points that he brought up with Bill Gates, is that the piracy, DVD and movie piracy right now is rampant in Chinese and Asian markets.
Yeah, I had a friend whose dad used to go over there all the time, and they have Walmart-sized stores of like bogus crap all over the place.
All over the place, yeah. So, first of all, I'm happy that the Chinese leader, who's basically, I know we say Bush is like a leader of the free world right now. If Bush is the leader of the free world, Hu Jintao is the leader of the world
everything else
right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the guy from the most powerful country right now. I'm going to go ahead and say that China is now more powerful than the United States if they want to be. And so we've had some kind of a torrent love affair between the United States and China right now. And so I'm glad that he's come over here to kind of ease the American thought process, so to speak. And so I'm just happy to see him here, wanting to talk to the American president.
I have bad news for you, though.
No dice, give it to me.
While he was there, while he went to meet with President Bush, some lady from China was able to get fake press credentials and charge up and scream protest type things at him. And then they announced the national anthem of China as the national anthem of the Republic of China, which is actually the proper name for Taiwan, which China hates.
Hates Taiwan.
So we've insulted China twice while they're here.
Yes.
The truth is this, and then we'll be done. We need China. We do. As America, we need China. And China kind of needs us. But if we don't work to stay on their good side, they'll be calling the shots all across the world, and we'll be the ones that they're saying, hey, do you want to help out? As opposed to us being the ones in charge asking for their help. So I think that we got to watch it because it's getting a little touchy. It's
getting down to it, and I think it's okay because for now it's okay.
For now it's okay.
But like you said, it's going to be touchy, and this whole trade agreement and stuff like that, and the fact that China's economy has just boomed and ours is not. We'll see how it goes.
We will see how it goes.
Mr. China President, come back and see us again, will you?
Come visit us.
Yeah, we'll have you on Social Truth. So check us out on Wednesday in episode 5.2, and we'll have some more stories and some comments. Good. Real good.
Great.
So see you then, guys. Bye.